I want to talk to you for a couple of minutes about the use of ground flaxseed powder. It's a question that I get at a lot of seminars. And I really recommend that people use 2 heaping tablespoons a day of ground flaxseed powder. And you think, oh my God, that sounds disgusting. Actually, it tastes pretty good. The reason that I recommend it is because the evidence supports that it reduces risk of reproductive organ cancers in both men and women. That means reducing risk of breast cancer in women, and we think prostate cancer in men. So you say, well, how does that work exactly? What's unique about flax seeds is that they contain 800 times more of the active constituents we're going to talk about than any other food on the planet. So that's a big advantage that it has. The active ingredients in ground flaxseed are this big word called mammalian lignin precursors. Don't worry about the word. What you want to know is that when that gets into your intestinal tract, your bacteria that live there, the friendly bacteria, convert those ingredients into these very active constituents called enterolactone and enterodiol, which get absorbed, go into your bloodstream. And those active constituents have an amazing effect on reducing risk of breast cancer and prostate cancer, keep those tissues really healthy. So how does it work exactly? Well, those active constituents from ground flaxseed, once they're in your bloodstream, attach to breast cells and prostate cells, and they slow down the rate at which cells are dividing by competing with some of the more dangerous hormones that are inside the body. When you slow down the rate at which cells divide, you reduce your risk of cancer all the time. When cells divide too fast, they make too many genetic mistakes. That leads to cancerous mutations. For breast tissue, the other great thing is that ground flaxseed has been shown to help treat fibrocystic breast disease. A couple of large hospital studies showing that 50 grams a day, which is 2 heaping tablespoons, was able to actually reverse fibrocystic breast disease in just 3 continuous menstrual cycles. So it's been shown to have tremendous clinical outcomes. These studies have shown that it's very helpful for women, but you know, men have to protect their prostate gland, especially as they get older. And the great thing about ground flaxseed is that it has effects on the prostate gland, which in a very complicated way slows down the rate at which prostate cells divide. That means less of a chance the prostate's going to enlarge and less of a chance that the cells in the prostate will become cancerous. So 2 heaping tablespoons a day, a very good idea. The other great thing is that recently we've seen that those active constituents from ground flaxseed can help to keep calcium in bone, may play a very important role in reducing risk of osteoporosis. Because after age 50 in women, calcium leaks out of bone because estrogen levels are dropping down. After age 65 in men, we tend to lose calcium as well at a more accelerated rate, leading to osteoporosis, very common health problem. So this ground flaxseed with its active constituents can help to keep calcium in bone as part of a bone support program. But of course you need calcium, vitamin D, weight-bearing exercise, magnesium. You probably know the rest of that story. The last thing about ground flaxseed that's outstanding is that it contains dietary fiber. It contains both kinds of dietary fiber. The kind of fiber that helps to clean the colon, these bulking agents that improve constipation and we think reduce risk of colorectal cancer, which by the way is the 2nd leading cause of cancer death. The other thing is that it contains a soluble fiber which helps to drag cholesterol and the building blocks of cholesterol out of the body. So 2 heaping tablespoons a day can lower your cholesterol by 10 to 15% according to some recent evidence. That's a very significant reduction. So how do you use flaxseed? Well, first you have to make sure the seeds are ground because the outer husk is too hard. Your digestive enzymes can't break it down. So to release the active constituents and the fiber, it has to already be ground. Either you can grind it yourself or buy it already in a pre-ground powder and just put the 2 tablespoons onto some cereal, mix it into some juice, put it into a protein shake, blend it in there. It actually has a very nutty taste. It has a good taste. It adds to the mouthfeel of a shake or to some juice, so it's actually very pleasant and very palatable. So in addition to vitamins and herbs that I often talk about and a healthy diet, less animal fat, all those things are great and very important. But one thing you should be adding every day, in my opinion, as I do, 2 heaping tablespoons of ground flaxseed. Do yourself a favor and include it in your wellness program. I have some additional literature on this subject that you can read on the website. If you want some scientific references, all the information's there.